Imagine a highly complex, incredibly powerful engine running in the background of your life right this very second. Every single day, you feed it, you rely on it, and yet, you've probably never actually popped the hood to see how the whole shebang really works. That engine? Well, that's your personal financial system. In this explainer, we're totally stripping away the boring jargon to decode the absolute bedrock of how we truly manage wealth. It's going to be a deep dive.
So, here is the million-dollar question. Literally. It's the question that drives endless anxiety, towering stacks of self-help books, and those late-night internet spirals we all fall into. What is the true foundation of wealth? Like, really, is it a lucky break in the stock market, a massive six-figure salary, maybe a sudden inheritance? Take a second and just really think about your own answer.
Well, the data reveals a much more grounded truth. The real foundation of wealth? It actually isn't some static number sitting in a bank account. It is entirely about mastering the flow of money. Personal finance isn't just a list of boring chores you have to do. It's a living, breathing ecosystem. It's this constant stream of energy that you either actively direct or, honestly, it eventually directs you.
Okay, let's dive into this. Chapter 1, The Foundation of Finance.
Understanding this massive ecosystem really just requires breaking it down to the complete life cycle of a single dollar. We've got 4 distinct steps here: manage income, manage spending, manage savings, and manage financial goals. Every single dollar you touch enters this system, passes through these exact phases, and exits. If you master this journey, you absolutely master the game.
Moving right along to Chapter 2, Managing Your Income. Think of this as the essential fuel powering your entire engine.
At its core, income is simply the inflow of money into your personal financial system. But right here is the trap. So many people mistake income for wealth. They see a high salary and they think, awesome, the race is won. But in reality, bringing money in is literally just the starting line. It's just raw, volatile material. What you actually do with this raw material, well, that's what's going to define your entire financial reality.
Which brings us to a huge reality check. Chapter 3, The Reality of Spending. Generating income is honestly only half the battle. The real test is what happens next.
And this brilliantly illustrates the constant, sometimes violent friction between earning and consuming. Money in on the left, money out on the right. In fact, studies actually show the average person makes over 100 subconscious spending decisions every single day. Crazy, right? Every time you generate financial energy, there is an immediate pulling force just trying to extract it. This is the natural, unforgiving state of the whole ecosystem.
Now wait, spending isn't inherently a bad thing. Not at all. It is simply the managed outflow of your income. And managed is absolutely the key word here. You have to eat, right? You need shelter. It's an unavoidable engine output. But if you aren't the absolute architect of exactly where that money flows, that friction just takes over and your entire system can completely collapse.
Let's talk about survival. Chapter 4, Building Your Savings.
So, what actually happens to the dollar that miraculously survives the friction of spending? Well, managing savings involves capturing that remaining income and actively protecting it. Think of it like a giant battery cell. You've burned fuel to get through the day, but you are deliberately capturing the excess energy and locking it away in reserve. You are essentially storing power for when you actually need it down the road.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the focus on deliberate action. Savings is the retained portion of income deliberately kept after spending. You don't just magically have savings left over at the end of the month without a solid plan. It just doesn't happen. Savings is the physical manifestation of your discipline. It's that absolutely crucial bridge spanning the gap between today's income and tomorrow's reality.
Let's move to and see how this builds towards the ultimate destination. Chapter 5, Achieving Financial Goals.
Look, saving money just to hoard it under a mattress, that isn't a strategy. It needs a destination. Financial goals are the specific objectives directing how you manage your income, spending, and savings. They act as your steering wheel. You could be a massive earner and really meticulous saver, but if you don't know why, whether that's, buying back your time, launching a startup, or retiring at 50, your ecosystem is basically just revving in neutral. Without goals, there's no real purpose.
So the crucial point is that these concepts, they don't happen in a vacuum. They compound over time. On day 1, you get the fuel. You manage the income. By month 1, you're controlling that spending, managing the friction. By year 1, you're building savings, basically charging the battery.
And as those years multiply, year 5 and beyond, you actually hit those financial goals. It's a highly resilient system that you build, phase by phase.
It all culminates in this single, interconnected equation. Income plus spending plus savings equals financial goals. They aren't isolated chores. Pull one lever and it affects the rest. If you spike your spending, well, your savings plummet and your goals totally vanish. But if you scale your income while freezing your spending, your savings absolutely explode and your timeline accelerates. You literally control the math here.
So, we've mapped the engine, we've defined the fuel, the friction, the battery, and the destination. The blueprint is right there in your hands. But a blueprint doesn't build a house on its own. So the final provocative thought I want to leave you with is this. Are you actively managing your financial system, or is the system currently managing you? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.